I'm going to walk through the Jackery HomePower 3600 Pro Max the way I would if I were actually deciding whether to put it in my garage or on a campsite. The goal here isn't to hype a headline number, it's to help you figure out if the real-world value lines up with what you need, whether that's a night-long power outage, a weekend off the grid, or just a little extra juice for tools. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the big question most people have is, do I really need a 3.5 kilowatt-hour battery and a 4 kilowatts inverter, or am I just buying a pricey flashlight? The answer hinges on three things: how long you expect to be without grid power, what kinds of devices you need to keep running, and how much you're willing to invest in a system that can actually expand later. The HomePower 3600 isn't a compact phone charger. It's a full-size backup that can sit in a corner of a utility room and still be portable enough to carry up a set of stairs. That size brings both flexibility and a few compromises, so let's break those down. Real-world setup. If you've never plugged a portable power station into a solar array, the learning curve is surprisingly gentle. Jackery includes two 200-watt solar panels that snap together with a single connector. In bright sun you can pull roughly 400 watts of power into the battery, which translates to about a full charge in 8 to 9 hours, roughly half the time you'd see on older lithium-ion units. The panels are lightweight enough to fold and tote in a car trunk, but they're not pocket size. You'll need a roof rack or a sturdy ground stake if you plan to leave them out for a full day of sun. Once the panels are set, the unit itself powers up in under a minute. That ready in half the time claim isn't just marketing fluff, it's the difference between being able to start a fridge before the night falls and waiting hours for the battery to kick in. Daily usability. Let's say you live in a region with occasional storms that knock out power for a few hours. Plug the HomePower into your home's transfer switch, and you have a 4000W inverter that can run a standard 120V refrigerator, a few lights, a Wi-Fi router, and maybe a laptop or two simultaneously without tripping a breaker. The 3584 capacity means you could keep a mid-size fridge running for roughly 10 hours, give a TV a couple of hours, and still have enough left for a few phone charges. In practice, most users find the real-world run time a bit less than the math suggests, because the inverter draws a small amount of power even when idle. Still, the unit stays under 30 dB while it's running quiet enough that it won't drown out conversation in a living room or a campsite dinner. If you're a hobbyist with power tools, the 240V output is a game changer. A single unit can feed a 120V circular saw or a 240V air compressor for short bursts, which is something you'll rarely see in a portable station of this size. The LFP, lithium iron phosphate, cells give you a lifespan of more than 16 years, according to the specs, meaning you won't have to worry about replacing the battery every couple of years as you might with traditional lithium-ion packs. That long life is where a lot of the value comes from, especially if you plan to keep the unit around for a decade of storm seasons. Hidden trade-offs. The upside of that capacity is a heavier box. At roughly 100 pounds, the HomePower isn't something you'll want to lug up a flight of stairs every day. It's portable in the sense that you can move it with a dolly or a pair of strong hands, but it's not a backpack-ready solution for day trippers. Also, while the included 200W panels are decent, they're not enough to fully sustain a high-draw appliance like an electric heater for an entire night. You'll still be dependent on the battery reserve, which means you have to monitor your draw and plan accordingly. The unit does have a built-in LCD that shows input, output, and remaining capacity, but you'll need to keep an eye on it if you're trying to stretch the battery over a long outage. Another nuance is the expandable architecture. Jackery advertises the ability to grow the system to 21 kilowatt-hours with additional battery modules. The modules are sold separately and add a few $100s each. If you're looking for a one-time purchase that will never need an upgrade, you might be better off with a different brand that offers a larger base capacity. The expansion route makes sense for people who start small, maybe just for a weekend camping rig, and then decide they want whole house backup later. In that scenario, the HomePower acts as a starter kit that won't feel obsolete as you add more storage. Who should buy it if you're a homeowner in an area with frequent grid interruptions, a small business that can't afford downtime, or A,